and I'm sure she'll cover the subject very well. So, to start off, we usually start off with the school prayer. But before I recite the school prayer, I'd like to tell the participants who have new to this forum that all questions and queries can be kept to the end of the program so that the flow in the speakers, thing will not be obstructed in any way. And you can ask any questions. And if you feel that you might forget some question at the end, you can also type it down in the chat box and we'll deal with it at the end. So thank you. And I'll start with the school prayer. And after that, we'll be having the prayers in the other religions also. This is the school prayer. O hidden life, vibrant in every atom, O hidden light, shining in every creature, O hidden love, embracing all in oneness, may each who feels himself as one with thee know he is also one with every other. And now the Hindu prayer. Om Bhur Swaha Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodaya. Om Bhur Swaha Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodaya. Om Bhur Swaha Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Asato Ma Satgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityoma Amritangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. And now, Freni, if you're there, please do chant your Zoroastrian prayer.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Shri Padadar Ovramazani Madad Hojoji. Gorje Kore Avajiad, Pak of Shune Shahe Faredun, Wapak Beram Yazet Panabad, Ham Jartush Ti Madadgar, Ham Papi Negedar, of Shune Shahe Faredun, Wapak Beram Yazet Madadgar. Yatha Ahu Veryo, Yatha Ratush, Ashat Chithacha, Vangeush, the Zaumaningo, Shaute Nanam, Angyus Mazdai, Shatrem Chai, Ahurai, Aim, the Regopyo, Dadatavastarahem, Yatha Ahu Veryo, Yatha Ratush, Ashat Chithacha, Banghe Ush, the Zaumaningo, Shaute Nanam, Angyus Mazdai, Shatrem Chai, Ahurai, Aim, Dregopyo, Dadatavastarahem, Ashem Vahu, Vahishtam Vasti, Usta Asti, Usta Ahmai, Vadeshai, Vahishtai Hashem, Sarosh Yazad Nipana Hojoji. Thank you.
And now we will ask Deepti. Are you there, Deepti?
Yes.
Yes, please do the Christian prayer. Yeah.
Yeah. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us today our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not unto temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.
Thank you, Deepti. And now may I request Gulu Advani. Are you there, Gulu?
Yes,
Gulu?
yes,
Yes,
I'm there.
yes.
Yes, I'm there.
Yeah, please do the Sikh prayer.
एक ओंकार सतनाम करता पुरख निर्भव निर्वैर अकाल मूरत अजोनी सैभं गुर प्रसाद जप आद सच जुगाद सच है भी सच नानक हो से भी सच सोचे सोच न हो वही जे सोचे लखवार चुप चुप न हो वही जे लाए रहा लिवतार मुखिया बुख न उतरी जे बनना पुरिया भार सहस्यारा पालक हो वही त इक न चले नाल किव सचियारा हो ये किव कूरे टूटे पाल हुक्म रजाई चल रहा नानक लिखिया नाल वाहिगुरु जी दा खालसा वाहिगुरु जी दी फतेह बोले सो निहाल सत श्री अकाल.
Thank you very much, Gulu. And now I shall introduce the speaker, Mridula Nair, very charming lady. I just saw her a few minutes ago, and she's a person with a very spiritual bent, and she's sold her travel business, which I'm sure must have been a flourishing business. But she decided that since she had a very spiritual bent, she would follow what her heart says and her beliefs. And then she has established a career in the arena of spiritual and holistic healing. She is also qualified as a counselor, plus in EFT and in matrix reimprinting and Bach remedies, NLP, and breakthrough coaching with timeline technology, and has thus been helping people for the last few years using all these techniques. And I'm sure she's been very successful. And all the, her qualifications sound so interesting also. And I'm sure everybody must be waiting to listen to you. And I'll continue a little more about her. She's an accredited practitioner of the journey by Brandon Bayes and works alongside very leading medical professionals also, and is sometimes able to refer people into their care whenever she feels that is necessary. So she seems a very talented person, and I'm sure everyone here is waiting to hear you. So, Meera, the mic will now be yours. The floor is now yours, and we're waiting to hear what you have to say with avid interest.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's over to Mridula now.
Thank you. Thank you, Sajani, for inviting me, and thank you, Malti, for that wonderful introduction. It's so nice to see all of you who have joined in, and I'm really excited to be here. Now, our topic for today is emotional well-being and what to do when we feel fear or anxiety. So I'm going to tell you about a very powerful technique called EFT, or Emotional Freedom Technique. Some of you know this, and some of you joined in today. So I'm going to teach you what it is. So we'll talk a little bit about EFT first. EFT is a combination of ancient acupressure without the needles and modern day psychology. It is also called tapping because we tap on the end points of the meridians while tuning into the issue or the emotion that we want to heal. As I always tell people, it's really funny and it looks weird. And when I first saw it, I never thought I would be doing this. But then what it did for me, how it helped me, I was wanting to know more. And that's how I went on to first learn it to heal myself, then become a practitioner to help others, and then went on to becoming a trainer. It helps with pain relief, with stress management, with emotional issues, even weight loss. When we tap, we send a calming signal to the amygdala, which is an almond-shaped component in the midbrain, which triggers the fight or flight response in us. This response is a survival mechanism that has stayed with us from our ancestors. They had to flee from a wild animal. The brain cannot tell the difference between a real threat and a perceived threat. Today's stressors are different. It may be an email at work that you got, or an assignment that you have to submit, and your Wi Fi is not working, or it could be the traffic. The stressors may not end. Your body does not know that your reason for being stressed is the traffic jam. And so it responds with the release of cortisol into the bloodstream. Now, what we do by tapping is we turn off that response. Here's the good thing about tapping, it works on skeptics and believers alike. So let's dive right into the tapping. I'm going to teach you the tapping points. I want you to do it with me. That is the karate chop, the side of the hand. You can do this hand or this hand. Very gently tap 5 to 7 times on each point. Very gently. That is the eyebrow point, just where this eyebrow begins. Or you can do this side also, or you can do both sides. Meridians run down both sides of our body. So that's the eyebrow point. That is side of the eye. Now just where that bone is, the eye socket, that bone, just there. Very gently tap there. Follow the bone underneath and just tap there. That's the under the eye point. Now, under the nose, but it's between the nose and the lip. It's just there, under the nose. The chin point is in this depression between the lip and the chin, just there. Then the collarbone, it's just below this bone. Now, under the arm, it's 4 inches below the armpit. You can do this side or this side, whichever you're comfortable. And then top of the head. Now, this is one round of tapping. If you don't like to tap, or if you've got a headache, you don't want to keep tapping your head, you can just hold each point very gently and breathe. Just hold and breathe. Hold and breathe. I'm going to show you the points one more time so that you get it. Karate chop, eyebrow, side of the eye, under the eye, under the nose, chin, collarbone, under the arm, and top of the head. So now that we know all the points, let's see how we are going to use it. First, what is the issue that we want to work on? The most pressing issue or emotion. We need to tune into it and get a number. Now, this is called the subjective unit of distress, or the SUD. So now today, let's do one small round of tapping, tuning into anxiety and worry, because it's something that during these COVID times we've all been going through. And then we give it a number from 0 to 10, 0 being the lowest, 10 being the highest, And then we tap on all the points that I've just shown you. So let's start with anxiety. I want you to take a deep breath in and see where in the body are you feeling this anxiety. Breathe into it. Give it a number from 0 to 10, 0 being the lowest, 10 being the highest. Now, if you know the points, you can even close your eyes, tune into this issue and tap. For today's session that we are doing together, I am going to use general language. But when I'm working individually with a client, I use their specific language. Tap very gently, breathe gently. Don't stress about getting it right. EFT is a very forgiving technique, and yet it is the most powerful self-help tool today. When we have a headache, we know that we can take a paracetamol and feel better. What do we do when we feel sad or anxious or angry? Do we even know what to do? This is emotional first aid. I think that's the best way to explain what EFT really is. So let's start tapping on the karate chop. I want you to say with me, karate chop. Even though I feel so anxious about all the uncertainty around, I choose to find a way to relax now. Again, on the karate chop. Even though this anxiety makes me feel so unsafe, I acknowledge it completely and I choose to let it go now. Again on the karate chop. Even though I'm so anxious all the time, I choose to relax now. Eyebrow. I'm so anxious all the time. Side of the eye. All of this anxiety. Under the eye. I feel it in my body. Under the nose. It's safe to feel this anxiety. Chin. It's safe to let it go. Collarbone. The more I relax, the more my body calms down. Under the arm. Letting go now. Top of the head. I have choice. Eyebrow. It's safe for me to let it go. Side of the eye. I choose to feel safe now. Under the eye. Letting it go. Under the nose. Releasing all this anxiety. Chin. I choose to be calm. Collarbone. I feel relaxed and calm. Under the arm. I feel safe and supported. Top of the head. I am safe. Take a deep breath in and slowly breathe out. Now check the number, what your number is at now. Anybody who was yawning, it's okay to yawn, as this shows that your body is letting go and relaxing. For those of you whose number is the same or has gone up, there may be another issue that needs to be worked on before we come to this. Now, let's see how we store trauma in our body. We all have some sort of emotional and psychological trauma that we keep storing. It is time to give our psychological well-being, our emotional well-being, importance. You know, in the olden days, if you wanted to see somebody who lifted weights, you had to go to an exhibition or you had to go to the circus and you'd find these big people who would lift weights. But today, most people go to the gym and they're doing weightlifting because they've realized the importance of physical well-being. But what about psychological and emotional well-being? It's time that we gave it as much importance. Are you feeling boxed in and crowded with no time for yourself? Does this feel like it's never going to end? You know, with this pandemic, we are all feeling very stuck. You have too much to do and simply don't know where to start. You have no space. You could be going through emotional fatigue or exhaustion, and it makes you anxious all the time. If your illness is physical, you may well believe that there are no psychological or emotional triggers. In fact, it is physical discomfort that makes most people seek help. People with anxiety have excessive fear and worry and a constant feeling of uncertainty. Now, managing anxiety will help you to stay calm and make sure it doesn't rule the way you respond. This can become an anxiety disorder when it grips you and you can become dysfunctional. Some people say the issue is in my body. I'm mentally very strong. Now let's do a little process here. I want you to close your eyes. I want you to think of your favorite food. I want you to see, feel, or smell the aroma of that food. In fact, I'm thinking of raw cut mango with salt and chili powder that we all enjoy in season. And you know what? My mouth is watering. So are you salivating when you think of your favorite food? The smell, the texture, the taste. When we think of something, our body responds to it. If we can think it, we can change the response to it also. Stress and trauma make demands on our system and takes away our ability to heal naturally. Acute stress is good in small doses because we learn from it. Athletes who are training for an event push themselves a little harder every single day. However, chronic stress affects our physical and psychological system. Unresolved childhood trauma can affect you even 50 years later, causing BP, diabetes, insomnia, autoimmune diseases, and even cancer. Our body was not designed to live in that stressed state. Traumas affect our nervous system. We cause stress, overload, and trauma by constantly being in that state, literally stuck there. So the way we respond is our body trying to protect us. When we have experienced trauma, it must go somewhere. It is best to process it and release it. If we do not do this, it is held in our physical and emotional body and then goes into our nervous system. When we resist feeling our emotional pain emotionally, it gets stored in our physical body and causes physical symptoms. Those negative memories live in our cells. It makes us on edge all the time, struggling to switch off. The world doesn't feel safe anymore. We don't feel safe anymore. We are either emotionally bubbling or we are numb. See your body as a home with lots of children. Each of your organs is a child. Children need attention. If they do not get it, they will throw a tantrum. Here, it will be some kind of pain or inflammation or bloating. And then you will be forced to pay attention. Give your body the attention that it is seeking with a healthy diet, with lots of practices like yoga, meditation. All of these are very powerful, but you need to do something where your body feels cared for. Another emotion that's very powerful is fear. Fear is a natural, primitive emotion. Fear alerts us to the presence of danger, whether it is psychological or physical or emotional. This can be real or perceived danger. Although we look at fear as a very negative emotion, it actually serves to keep us safe and helps us to cope. When we find a way to cope, this reduces the intensity. If we stay in that helpless space, it intensifies the fear. Sometimes we hold on to childhood fears that do not serve us anymore. We need to free ourselves from our own stories. So many people live in that chronic overwhelm and freeze state. In fact, they get addicted to it. We have to go beyond the words, tune into the body. There is an entire universe when we feel that. Trauma is not an event. It is stored in the nervous system. So the body has not been able to process it and return to normal. Trauma is a reality. It's a part of life. But just remember, it does not have to be a life sentence. Every issue, every illness has a deep emotional component that runs through it. It is very important to release the emotional trauma by addressing the emotional side to our physical symptoms. These emotions are in our energy field, and that's where we need to address it. Trauma has a frequency like electricity. It has a charge, and with EFT, we can diffuse that charge. There are many methods to release it, but now let's do some tapping on it. I want you to close your eyes. I want you to think of something that causes you a lot of fear or anxiety or overwhelm. It can be an event, it can be a person. What is the emotion and where in the body do you feel it the most? Give it a number from 0 to 10. 0 being the lowest, 10 being the highest. Now let's start on the karate chop. If you know the points, as I said earlier, you can close your eyes and tap, otherwise you can watch me. On the karate chop, even though I'm so afraid and anxious all the time, I choose to love and accept myself. Karate chop. Even though I have all this fear in me and I feel so stuck, I choose to love and forgive myself. Karate chop. Even though I am worried and anxious, I choose to stay open to finding a way to love and forgive myself and anyone who may have contributed to this situation. Eyebrow. All this fear in my body, side of the eye, all this fear that I'm feeling. Under the eye, I can choose to find a way to release it. Under the nose, I can choose to let it go. Chin. All of this anxiety. Collarbone. All of this worry that I'm feeling. Under the arm. It's not helping me in any way. Top of the head. All of this fear and anxiety. Eyebrow. All of this worry. Side of the eye. It's not doing any good. Under the eye. Part of me believes I need to worry. Under the nose. This worry keeps me safe. Chin. If I don't worry, something bad will happen. Collarbone. If I let go of this fear, something bad may happen. Under the arm, all this worrying is making me so uncomfortable. Top of the head. By holding on to it, something bad is happening. Eyebrow. The only thing we have to fear is fear itself. Side of the eye. Being afraid that I'll be afraid. Under the eye. I imagine that I will feel anxious. The nose. I feel anxious just thinking about it. Chin. All this fear that I feel and the anxiety that I experience. Collarbone. Most things that I worry about aren't happening. Under the arm. All this fear and threat is in my mind. Top of the head. Clearing all this fear and anxiety. Eyebrow. Releasing all of this painful worry. Side of the eye. Releasing any physical symptoms. Under the eye. I am resilient and I can handle this. Under the nose. Allowing my breathing to become calm and relaxed. Chin. Clearing all this fear from my past. Collarbone. It was trying to keep me safe. Under the arm. Clearing all the fear I felt in the past and kept feeling. Top of the head. Clearing all the fear that I was told to feel. Eyebrow. I don't need it anymore. Side of the eye. I can take care of myself. Under the eye. Releasing all self-doubt. Under the nose. Allowing myself to relax. Chin. Allowing my body to feel calm and confident. Collarbone. I have faith that I have the capability to release this fear. Under the arm. I love myself unconditionally. Top of the head. I am calm and confident in body, mind, and spirit. Now take a deep breath in and see what is the number at. If it hasn't changed, you may need to do tapping on some other aspect that has come up. So, since we are doing a lot of healing with our hands and we've done quite a bit of tapping now, I'm going to talk to you about another healing methodology, which again is with the hands. It's called Jinshin Jitsu. Some of you may have heard about it. For centuries, the keys to Jinshin Jitsu were passed from generation to generation by verbal teachings. Gradually, these keys began to fade until this art was virtually lost. In the early 1900s, this was rediscovered by Master Jiro Murai of Japan. He was born into a family of doctors but decided to look for true meaning of life. During his search, he became terminally ill. He requested his family to take him to a mountain cabin where he can be in solitude. In the stillness, he meditated and experienced the art of Jinshin Jitsu. To his amazement and disbelief, he was healed completely. Jinshin Jitsu is getting to know myself or getting to help myself. They're just the finger holds. Now the thumb is for worry. You gently hold the thumb until you can feel a pulse. Very gently. And this you can do at any time, even while you're working. I mean, there are times when I'm even watching a movie and I'm sitting with something, holding my fingers. This is for worry. The pointer finger is for fear. Just very gently hold it. For people who are working, when you are doing something on the computer and you're listening to some talk, as you are doing now, you can just sit with your finger holds. The middle finger is for anger. So when you're angry, before you respond, it would be good to just sit for 2 minutes holding your middle finger. And when you've calmed down, you would be able to respond rather than to react. The ring finger is for sadness or for grief. And then the little finger. The little finger is for pretense. Some of us, at times, we are crying on the inside, and yet we are smiling on the outside. So that is for people when they are doing just that, when they're pretending, or they're forced to pretend because they can't show their real feelings. So since we are tapping on stress and anxiety, I thought I'll talk a little bit more about that. Stress is a psychological state. In a fight or flight situation, our bodies are ready to take on a threat or to flee. Stress is a process, a relationship between you and the environment around you. When we have perceptions of uncertainty, lack of control, and then we engage in negative conversations in our head, it leads to acute stress. We constantly play mental tennis, or something that was a small issue snowballs into a huge event in our mind. And the hormone released during a stress response is cortisol, as I mentioned earlier. Some of the emotional symptoms of stress are feeling of frustration, irritation, restlessness, inability to sleep, constant worry, lack of focus. The physical sensations are headache, back pain, sleep problems, stomach upset, or palpitations. You can become aware of your patterns, but how do you get the tools to stop the patterns? Stop the unhelpful thoughts and rewire your brain. Your unconscious mind can be trained to respond differently. Initially, it takes a little discipline, but then it becomes a normal way for you to respond. We begin to see the pattern as it's happening, and we learn to stay calm or we learn to tap on it. It takes consistent daily practice. A feeling of safety is a feeling in the body and not a thought in the mind. The mind always tries to escape. Unresolved emotions have to go somewhere because we try not to feel it. Some of the lesser known signs of anxiety are trouble focusing on anything because you are too worried, always looking for distractions. People will want to fill up their time. They cannot be by themselves. Difficulty taking decisions. They have so much of self-doubt that they worry about other people's opinions. Always restless and distracted. They are distracted by their own thoughts and are anxious. Procrastination. They want to be perfect and so they don't start anything because they may not get it right. So now let's do a little bit of tapping on this. I want you to think of an issue that is stressing you. Give it a number from 0 to 10. 0 being the lowest, 10 being the highest. Where in the body do you feel it the most? Now, all of you know how to do this, I'm sure. Breathe into it and start tapping gently. I will guide you through it. On the karate chop. Even though I'm feeling so stressed, I choose to accept the way I feel. Karate chop. Even though being calm seems impossible right now, I choose to find a way to relax. Karate chop. Even though I'm feeling totally stressed, I choose to somehow find a way to stay calm. Eyebrow. All the stress and anxiety. Side of the eye. I'm really feeling stressed. Under the eye. I'm feeling overwhelmed. Under the nose. I feel it in my head. Chin. I feel it in my chest. Collarbone. I feel it in my stomach. Under the arm. All of this stress. Top of the head. I'm feeling so tense. Eyebrow. I find it hard to relax. Side of the eye. I need to stay focused. Under the eye. It's so hard to stay focused. Under the nose. This stress is holding me back. Chin. I am irritated and restless. Collarbone. I am constantly worried as I have so much to do. Under the arm. I wish I could be more focused. Top of the head. I am open to finding a way to be calm. Eyebrow. What if I could let some of it go? Side of the eye. I wonder what that would feel like. Under the eye. I love feeling calm and peaceful. Under the nose. I think I can allow some of the stress to go. Chin. I might miss being stressed. Collarbone. This stress has become a part of me now. Under the arm. Releasing some of the stress and allowing peace to flow in. Top of the head. Feeling this peace in my head. Eyebrow. Feeling this peace in my chest. Side of the eye. Feeling this peace in my stomach. Under the eye. Letting go of the stress. Under the nose, releasing all the stress in my mind and body. Chin, I choose to feel calm. Collarbone, I choose to feel peaceful. Under the arm, I choose to feel calm, peaceful, and relaxed now. Top of the head. This is the new me, calm, peaceful, and relaxed in body, mind, and spirit. Take a deep breath in and see what number is it at now. And as I've said earlier, if the number hasn't changed, it means that there is something more that needs to be worked on before you work on this. Since we have some more time, I thought I'll talk to you about another very big issue that's worrying a lot of us now. It's about boosting our immune system. Although being emotional is a good thing, but even an educated, informed mind is disturbed by an emotional mind. A healthy mind is one which has self-respect, feels secure, has enough mental strength to face the environment. When we are not centered and grounded, our responses are based on our past emotions of fear, anger, failure, overwhelm, or stress, and we make poor choices. Even if those emotions have no place in our present issue, we stack up our emotions from childhood. It's like saying the last straw on the camel's back, or a bucket that's full and just one drop and it starts to overflow. Right now, what we are experiencing is a lot of emotions regarding our immunity levels. So let's do a round of tapping to boost our immunity levels. Think of an issue that is making you feel weak, stuck, or bringing your energy down. Just see where in the body you feel it the most. Breathe into it. Now, on a scale from 0 to 10, what number would you give it? 0 being the lowest, 10 being the highest. And let's start tapping on the karate chop. Even though I feel anxious sometimes, my body is very powerful and I honor it. Karate chop. Even though my worry keeps me stuck, I can't seem to stop myself. Karate chop. Even though I make choices that are difficult sometimes, I choose to accept me as I am. Eyebrow. I have beliefs that are not healthy. Side of the eye. I have emotions and thoughts that keep me stuck. Under the eye. I eat and drink foods that are not healthy. Under the nose. I'm sorry, body, for not appreciating you enough. Chin. My body sometimes holds on to things that are not healing. Collarbone. My body holds on to thoughts, feelings, and emotions and substances in my physical body. Under the arm. My body sometimes holds on to things that slows down healing. Top of the head. I give my body permission to let go of them. Eyebrow. I give my body permission to release its healing power. Side of the eye. I may have unconsciously created blocks to my own healing. Under the eye. I give my body permission to release these blocks. Under the nose. I release all blocks in my limbic system and my glandular system. Chin. I release all blocks in my digestive system and my reproductive system. Collarbone. I release all blocks in my circulatory system and my respiratory system. Under the arm. I release all things in my body that my body cannot process. Top of the head. My immune system is so amazing in keeping me healthy. Eyebrow. I give my body permission to remove all known and unknown viruses, bacteria, fungus that may prevent my well-being. Side of the eye. I give my body permission to remove all foods, inhalants, and contact toxins from my entire system. Under the eye. I give my body permission to release all negative thoughts, emotions, and feelings that may block my well-being. Under the nose. I release all negative beliefs that do not serve me anymore. Chin. My body protects me anyway and works at a subconscious level to keep me healthy. Collarbone. My body keeps me safe all the time. Under the arm. Thank you, body, for all that you have done and continue to do for me. Top of the head. My body is powerful and can heal on its own, tapping into the depth of its own healing power. Take a deep breath in and slowly breathe out and see what the number is now. If there is no change, as I've said earlier, there may be another aspect that needs to be worked on first. Now that we've done a fair bit of tapping, I thought we can just do a very gentle tapping meditation so that you get a feel of how one can do a tapping meditation. We don't do the karate chop and we don't tap. I want you all to close your eyes because I will guide you through it, through each point, and we'll do a tapping meditation on forgiveness. So we just hold the eyebrow point. We start with the eyebrow point. And then we go, I'm going to guide you, the eyebrow. Take a deep breath in and breathe out. I acknowledge my faults and I forgive myself completely. Side of the eye. I release all of my anger towards myself and others. Under the eye, I release the burden of shame, guilt, self-hatred, and self-judgment. Under the nose. Forgiveness is not forgetting or condoning the hurt that someone has done to me. It is releasing the emotional hold it has on my life so that I can move on. Chin. I forgive myself for the decisions and choices I made in the past. I no longer need to hold on to guilt and shame to punish myself. Collarbone. I release my anger and forgive all those people who hurt me, although it is not an easy decision. Under the arm. I realize that my parents gave their best to me, and I forgive them for any wrong that they unknowingly did to me. Top of the head. I have learned from all experiences. I move forward and create a new future for me. I can experience true emotional and mental freedom. Now place your hand on your heart. Take a deep breath in. I forgive anyone else who needs to be forgiven. And I forgive myself completely. I live in freedom and love from this moment on. If I have hurt another, please give me the strength to apologize. And if I have hurt myself, please give me the strength to forgive. Just imagine that you are held in the arms of the Mother Divine. You are just an innocent child. You are loved unconditionally and you are safe. Feeling this love, feeling this safety. Send it all around, in all directions, to anybody who may need this love and healing and forgiveness. And whenever you are ready, become aware of your surroundings. And gently open your eyes. I would like to take questions if there are any.
Thank you, Mridula. That was really wonderful. And all the sessions that you took us through. What I would like to ask you is...
Sajani, your voice is totally breaking. We can't hear you.
Not clear, Sajani.
We can't hear you. Even your video is
Where
stopping.
do you get the best
That's a question in the chat.
results?
Ma'am, your voice is not audible.
Any
Yeah,
results
Sajani, we can't hear you.
in tapping?
Can't hear you, Sajani, at all.
Yeah, I'm also not able to hear. You're breaking up,
I'll
Sajani.
do that later. Okay, okay. All right. It's
Yeah,
okay.
somebody's
Someone else
asked.
question?
Somebody's asked in the chat about tapping for it.
For weight loss. How do you?
For weight loss.
Yeah, for weight loss.
Well, I have personally used it myself because I like to try something and know that it works. But then I wouldn't be able to share it, in a group, because these are sort of sessions that have to be worked one-on-one. A lot of the weight that we carry is not from always the food that we eat, because a lot of it is emotional baggage that we carry. And when we are able to release the emotional baggage, I found this, that you are able to eat more sensibly, and you are able to kind of have a lot more discipline with your life. How many times?
There's one more. How long? Mr. Suresh Kerani wants to know, how long should we practice?
5 minutes in the morning, and whenever you're feeling stressed, I would suggest you do 5 minutes of tapping every day, so that every time an issue comes up, you know what to do. Because otherwise, what happens is you forget all about it. So just tap on yourself 5 minutes a day. And if you go on to YouTube, you will find tapping. Just say tapping for anxiety, tapping for distress, tapping for anything at all. You will find a YouTube something to work with, if you don't know the words. But if there's a specific issue that needs to be worked on, you will have to go to a practitioner, because all that we do now, even what I did, is general language. But when somebody has a specific issue, then we have to work on that and release that, so that they get a relief. How many times in a day could we apply this technique? As many times in a day as you can. How to remember the affirmations. So what we start with is the truth tapping. Okay, I start with, I'm feeling anxious, or I'm feeling really angry just now. I get a call and I'm irritated. I'm so angry, I'm so angry, I'm so angry, so that's called truth tapping. Do 1 or 2 rounds of what you're really feeling. And what if I could let it go? So that's very simple. You don't have to kind of complicate things. What if I could just release it and stay calm? What if I could be calm? What if I could just be calm? That's it. And then say, okay, I'm choosing to let it go, and I am calm. Because we need to realize we have choice. We have choice to hold on to whatever emotion that we are going through, and we have the choice to release it. That choice is definitely with us. And the moment we know we have choice and we are not helpless, that's when we are able to release it. How to remember the affirmations? That, as I said, you can go on to YouTube if you're not able to, but otherwise, keep it simple. You don't have to say sentences. Just say, I'm angry, 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 angry. And then just say, I want to release it. How about if I could release it? What if I could let it go? And then the last round, you say, letting it go, letting it go, letting it go. I'm free from this anger. I'm free from this emotion, and I'm free. So when you know that you're free, then it makes you feel better. And you can add a lot of self-love. Because say, I'm letting it go and loving myself unconditionally. I choose to love myself unconditionally. That's it. How many times you need to tap on each point? Just 5 to 7 times. And if you, as I said earlier, if you don't want to tap, you can just hold each point, breathe into it gently, just hold each point. Yeah, somebody wanted my number. I'm happy to share it. It's 988. Wait, I'll put it on the chat. Not very good with this. Let me just do that. 988672391. Yeah.
Mridula,
You
I
could
have a
just,
question.
Yes.
Yeah, it's better I stop the okay. So, what happens if you do it wrong? Like, how many times are you supposed to tap, or what if you miss out doing it in one part?
As I said in the beginning, it's a very forgiving technique. Now, a lot of people do not like to tap this under the nose, so they don't even do it. And some people don't like to tap on this, so just do the points you like. Now, I am teaching you all the points in that sequence. There are more points which you will learn only in a practitioner level course. These are the points. Now, for example, this is a point. You know, your just this wrist. You can just keep tapping here, or you can just tap on the collarbone. I mean, personally, I find that I just today tap on my collarbone. That's my go-to, because as I am, when I feel angry, frustrated, helpless, I just find myself it just comes to me naturally now. I just keep tapping, and then I'm thinking of what to do. So just one point will also help. This is the sequence. Now, each of these points has a body part it's connected with. Now, for example, the eyebrow is connected with the bladder. So, each of these has, this is with the stomach. So, each of it has a body part it's connected to. So, it would be good if you did the whole thing. But if in a crisis, in fact, in a crisis, what I would suggest is just tap on your chest with both hands very gently before you react, because it gives you a chance to become grounded and respond in a calm way. Just tap here. Yeah.
I have a question.
Yes.
I am Janakiram.
Okay.
Is it necessary? I mean, is it sufficient just to learn from a session like this, or one has to undergo from a proper teacher like you and learn the methodology? In which case, how long will it take?
It's a 3-day course, and it is a beautiful course because it's just in 3 days you really the trainer will tell you what it is, and then you work with each other. So by the end of 3 days you are ready to work with clients. It is also absolutely safe when you've done a session like this and you use it on yourself, but you wouldn't be able to use it on somebody else. And as I said, if you want to go deeper into an issue, for example, if I was working with a client who has a label of some illness or disease, then there is a much deeper way of working, because you kind of go into that. And for that you definitely need to be a practitioner, and you have to do the 3-day training program.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
In the chat box about the heart beating faster, palpitations when you're stressed.
Yeah, palpitation, all you need to do all the points. So it helps you calm, or just that point, because you've got your heart is racing or beating fast because you are anxious. And the best way to bring that down, or we have something called the triple karma, which is under the eyebrow, collarbone, and under the arm. Again, you just do these 3 points under the eye, collarbone, under the arm. It's called the triple karma. So you calm down very quickly. But otherwise, just this point will also help. Yeah. Any
Lot
other?
of thank yous. There seem to be a lot of thank yous, and
I'm
I
glad
think
you
everyone's
enjoyed
enjoyed your
it.
program.
Yes,
Anybody
I
else wants to
yes.
unmute and ask or put some more questions in the chat box?
Yeah, I have a
I have a
question.
question.
Yes.
I do it
Yeah,
with
please go.
both hands simultaneously at the same time, or
You
not
can.
really?
Now, the points
Yeah,
that you can do with both are this. You can
right.
even do this like this. You can use both hands if you like. Yeah,
Okay,
you can use both hands. Because as I said, meridians run down both sides of our body. So
right.
you can use both hands, or you can use one hand, or you can start with this. That's why when I'm doing a session, I keep changing so that people know that it's okay to use both.
I
Know
have a
whether you
question.
conduct classes, whether you're conducting classes, Mridula.
Yeah, I have. I mean, classes as such, do you conduct? Yes, I have a training program coming up in February. It's face to face. You can contact, my number is there. You can contact me. I'll give you the details. Yeah.
I have a question.
Yes, tell me.
Mridulaji, namaste. Thank you very much for the lovely session. What I'm observing is that as you're doing these, the cycle of the tapping, it seems to be touching upon your maybe emotional body or one of the other bodies that we have.
Yes.
So can this also work with, I'm just thinking out of the box, can it also work with, say, chanting or mantras? If you keep tapping and you chant a particular
Yes,
chant.
it will help because I also do when I'm working with a client and they say, no, I don't know what to do and they're very stressed. There is a chant, in fact, it's called Ho'oponopono. And I just said, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you, I'm so sorry. So that combining Ho'oponopono and EFT has been very powerful, and a lot of people use that. But if you know the meaning of Sanskrit chants, I use it, but then until you know the meaning, it's best that you chant, or with that also you can chant, do the tapping. It's perfectly all right.
So what I've observed with what you've told us today is that the first cycle would be to acknowledge the truth, whatever it
Yes,
is.
yes,
The second cycle would be to voice out your choice or possibility.
yes,
And the third cycle would be to possibly affirm and also self-love.
yes, change it. Because you have to feel it first to heal it. If you're not
Right.
acknowledging it, you're not going to be able to heal it.
Got it.
So first feel it, accept it, and then you have choice to heal it.
Got it. Thank you so much, Mithila.
So I also do, I've stopped now. Otherwise, every month I do these sessions, which are group sessions. And so I will keep Sajani informed so that she can send it out to you, because from January I will start again. I do group sessions and it's on a Saturday afternoon. And anyone who wants can join. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
think there's one more question in the chat, Mridula, on Jinshin.
Yeah. Jinshin Jitsu, this is for worry. The worry is the thumb, and then the pointer finger is for fear. The middle finger is for anger. The ring finger is for sadness. And the little finger is for pretense, when we are sad inside and we are smiling outside. So those are the 5 finger holes. And when you hold and sit, it makes you feel very calm.
Questions? Any more queries? Any more doubts? Okay, I think we'll conclude, Mridula. Thank you
Yes.
very much.
Thank you.
And I will ask
Deeply.
Ramesh now to do the vote of thanks, as well as the Loka Samasta, which is the conclusion of the program. Right? Thank you very much. It was awesome. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Margaret. Right. So, well, what can I say, Vidalaji? It was a lovely session.
Thank you.
I must also let you know, of course, that we have been, as a group at the School of Ancient Wisdom, been exposed to EFT earlier, but
Yes.
it was not just a lovely revision, but I think each person who brings EFT to us adds their own layers and a new flavor. And I'd actually like to probably summarize for the benefit of everybody, because today was a very technical session. And we had, you discussed basically 2 things. One was EFT, and you'd also discussed Jinshin Jitsu. Is that how I pronounce it? Right, the
Yes.
finger holding. So in the EFT, we had 9 points, right from karate chop to the top of the head. And just to revise, the first cycle would be to acknowledge the truth that you are in. The second cycle would be to choose a possibility, and the third cycle would be to positively affirm. So from the negative, you are basically acknowledging, and then you're moving to the positive. That was a very nice, that is something that's kind of new, and that kind of registered with me this time when you did it. And also it was very interesting to know that, we don't have to really fret and worry too much about remembering all the 9 points. As a matter of fact, I do remember all the 9 points because it was done so well today. But even if you just remember 1 point, it is all right. But or whatever points you remember is also fine, but each one has a particular body part that it is connected to. And also you said something about the karma, triple karma, CALMER. I understand. The eye, the collarbone, and underarm.
Yes.
Yes, that was really very useful. And during an emergency, you mentioned to tap on the collarbone point. So that's another very useful point that we remember today. Jinshin Jitsu. Now, holding the thumb would be for worry, the first finger for fear, the middle finger for anger, the ring finger for sadness or grief, and the little finger for pretense. Now, this is very interesting. Of course, I mean, as I mentioned today, because it was done so clearly, we remembered everything, for which we really want to thank you. And probably, thank you for sharing your number as well. I'm sure quite a few of us will, revert to you for further fine tuning and probably further association. So
I'm happy to answer any queries. And I don't know how to let you know when I start my group sessions in January. As I said, I will let Sajani know. And then those who want to join can just send me their number and I will add them to the group. I'll send out the,
Yeah, I think Sajani
yes,
will
that would
make an
work well.
announcement,
Yes.
Okay.
so that people get to know about it,
Yes,
and
yes.
she'll
I
put
will,
it in the
Mridula.
School of Ancient Wisdom
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you
forum
for that,
also,
please.
so more people will get to know about it, and they'll
Thank
contact you with your
you.
phone
Yes.
number.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Yes.
So to
So
sum it up,
Sajani will do that.
yes, Sajani
Yes.
would be able to
Yeah.
inform us on that.
Ramesh,
So
you've done a beautiful job summarizing perfectly. You've not missed out
thank you.
anything.
Thank you. Actually, I felt it was important for me to revise it because not only was it technical, but it was so clear and concise the way you did it.
Okay.
With the strength of your practice, it is very obvious that we were
Yes.
able to remember these details, for which I must really thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you.
And I echo everyone in this thanks. And I do hope that we get a chance to work with you at the school sometime on the school
Thank you.
reopens as well.
I'd love that. Yes. Yeah.
So on that note of gratitude, let us all sit straight with our back, neck, and head aligned for the Loka Samasta. Let us all remember our loved one, people in our various communities. Let us send this love to all those souls, knowing that we're all interconnected. The more love we send others, the more love and respect we give ourselves, the more whole and complete we are. For we are the soul and not the body. Please put your hands together. Take a deep breath and let go. Center yourself and observe the silence within. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Tat Sat Brahmarpanamastu.
Thank you, participants. Thank you, Mridula, once again. Thank you, Ramesh, for the wonderful conclusion of the program. And thank you, Swati, for the help behind the scenes with your technical support. And do you have the slide for the next week's Thursday program, Swati? Do you have the slide? Otherwise, Sajani, if you're there, can you announce it, please? The next, every Thursday we do have the satsang, and otherwise,
Yes,
if
yes.
Sajani, yeah, please do announce, and then we'll conclude. Yeah, okay. Right, take over, Saj.
Thank you very much, Mridula. That was a wonderful session. And we look forward to having you shortly. All right, when we open up the school.
Yes.
Also, if you could send me details about your programs, then
Yes.
I will definitely inform all the others who are interested.
Thank you, Sajani. I will be starting again in January. Yes.
Everyone's enjoyed your session, and we look
Thank
forward, maybe when we open up the school, we can have something at the school, a session at the school. You have been to the school so often, Brandon Bay, so many times. So it would be nice to have you as faculty over there.
Thank you.
Right? Okay. Thank you, everyone, for being with us. And we look forward to having you on, for the next program on Thursday, next Thursday. Okay. We have on Saturday, we have a program. So all those details are given at SOAW WhatsApp. If you're not on the WhatsApp group, kindly give us your number and we'll ensure that you're part of the WhatsApp. Even you, Mridula.
Yes, I would love to be. Yes, I'll send you. Yes.
And I wish you a wonderful trip. You're traveling. So all the best. Bon voyage.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right. Okay, everybody. Thank you for everything. Look forward to seeing you again.
Thank you.
Bye.
And happy Dashra to everybody.
Yes, yes. Happy
Dasara.
Dasara, happy Vijayadashmi. Vijayadashmi is really the triumph of good over evil. So I'm sure that'll happen to all of us. Right? Okay. Goodbye.
Thank you, and wish you all the same.
Bye.
Bye.